How does the proliferation of unequal flute spacing in the different tool cutters affect the frequency response model? So I'll begin down here at this end, Dr. Schmitz. How does the proliferation of unequal flute spacing in the tooling cutters affect frequency response model?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. So in the discussion that we had about chatter, we talked about one tooth overcutting the surface that was left behind by the previous tooth. If I change the pitch of my teeth, I can effectively interrupt that regeneration of the surface. So in one sense, that can be a good solution if I don't have a lot of flexibility about changing my parameters. Say I'm in a transfer line and I'm fixed at one spindle speed. I don't have the luxury of changing to new spindle speeds in order to find those stability lobe pockets. I can go to a variable pitch cutter, and effectively what I do is I move the stability lobes around. And so it might be a solution for some applications. The fact, though, is even with a variable pitch cutter, I still have a set of stability lobes which goes with that cutter, and it depends on the dynamics of the system that it's fixed to, including the tool and the holder. So I think it can provide short-term solutions, but in the end, I have a new stability lobe diagram.
Okay, thank you. Anybody on the panel have anything to add related to those cutters, those styles of cutters?
What we've always found is, at least not from what his standpoint, but from mine, I can't imagine what he'd have to go through to get to, like, some of these variable pitched cutters that we have, like, for instance, the Harvey cutters, where they take an axial rake and you vary the axial rakes and plus the spacing of the teeth as well. So how do you, for him, for us, it really works well because it kind of keeps the harmonics at bay, if you will. The vibrations down, you don't have all the chatter that you typically would with a big fat tool like that, taking a big cut. So, but I was kind of, when he was giving his presentation earlier, I was kind of thinking about, how hard that would be to make a prediction on a tool that has so many different variables in it based on rake angles and flute spacing. But to me, it's always seemed to work in the real world.
So actually, I've worked with Kennametal, and I wrote a time domain simulation for Kennametal to design those cutters.
No kidding.
Okay. I did. Yeah.
See, you learn something new every day.
So it's not easy to model, but it can be done. Right.